Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. I am Daniel.
And I am Clint. Welcome, all ye travelers, to the great land of YouTube. We're here.
We've made it.
We've made it. Daniel, this is fantastic for us. Daniel and I are now on the YouTube channel, as well as the audio podcast version of Locked On Bulldogs. We're glad you have joined us. If you found us, that means you're a fan of UGA football and basketball. Football specifically right now. We're not talking anything about basketball for quite some time. Because we're right in the throes.
Even I, you couldn't get me to talk about the basketball team right now, Clint.
It's
not
embarrassing.
even. It's
not
even a little.
No, we're in the throes of football season. We're glad to be here. Glad you have found us. If you found this YouTube channel as well as the podcast, you are here because you care so much about being a fan of UGA. We don't take ourselves too seriously, nor each other. We have a lot of fun on this podcast. We want your fandom to increase as ours increases. That's why we made this podcast, those many years ago. So we're not gurus or insiders. We leave that to other people who are unemployed or unemployable. Either one.
Ooh,
that's their choice. What we care about is being fans.
That's right. It feels like the first episode of the podcast. Most of the people listening to this right now are just listening in their headphones at work. Right. The audio version just the same as they always have. So everything feels normal to them. But if you're on the YouTube channel, hello. It's great to be seen by you. T's and P's to you for having to look at Clint and I. I don't know. We'll try to think of something more interesting to show you while we record the podcast. I don't know.
Dear gosh, I don't know.
Hang something up right here.
Okay. So
in this region here.
If you say this, not so much here.
Not so much here or here.
But right here.
Nope. Ship shape. Note for audio. Daniel was pointing to an area on the wall behind his head. Thanks for being here. We're not gurus or insiders. We're also not very good at YouTube. But what we are, as Clint said, is Georgia fans. And so we're glad that you're here. Clint's having a cup of coffee, even though it's late at night. It's an awkward choice by him.
Look, gotta stay.
But he's out here. So thanks for being here. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Those are two things that you can do right off the bat that would help us out a tremendous amount. And so if you like the show, if you want to have it downloaded to the device of your choosing, you can subscribe to the audio podcast. That's a big deal for us. And then subscribe to the YouTube channel. That helps us out a bunch. We're just getting it started, as we said. And so thank you for subscribing. Even if you don't watch it every day on YouTube, you can subscribe so that you always know where it is, and that helps us out a bunch. If you like the show, end up leaving us a 5-star rating and review. You can click that thumbs up on YouTube or comment or do whatever else you do. I don't know. There's a bell. Is there a bell, Clint? I think there's a bell on YouTube. You think you hit a bell? There are two reasons that you would hit a bell. One of them, do you know what they are? No, there's three reasons. Three reasons that you hit a bell. One of them is if the Georgia football team wins. Go Dogs. Lots of people doing that this Saturday in Athens. Second reason is if you would like to be notified about YouTube videos that are posted. So that is the reason that applies here. The third reason to hit a bell is if you received excellent service at Arby's. That's you would just ring that bell as you're walking out of the Arby's. Okay. And that indicates to the employees that you received excellent service. See, it's a good thing that this is the take that we're keeping, Clint, because you never get this kind of insight. You never get this kind of insight pre-production. Okay. Most of all, the email address is lockedonbulldogs@gmail.com. The Twitter is @dogspodcast. And so send us a message on there, and we would love to interact with you or correspond with you. All right, we're already several minutes into the show. It's the first day on YouTube. It's off the rails. I'm pointing at the wall behind my head.
Daniel is like a kid in the first day of school wondering if he's got the right shoes on, and he's worried about everybody's opinion of it. So let's dive into.
Let me start with this question to you, Clint. Is there a fan base on God's green earth that enjoys being unhappy and working themselves up into a tizzy. Yes, that's what I'm going to call it, a tizzy.
Oh, not a full lather, but a tizzy. I like it.
No, a lather implies almost a righteous anger. A tizzy is what a small child does when that small child is not given the candy that he or she desires. And the small child's father, Kirby Smart, says, shut your mouth and take what I have given you. That child throws himself or herself into a tizzy. Is there a fan base in America that enjoys being in a tizzy more than the Georgia Bulldog fan base, Clint?
There's one that comes close, and it's Atlanta Falcon fan base.
Oh, no.
All y'all just thought,
Too soon.
Well, it's not, because you're all on my timeline on Twitter.
Georgia
fan Falcon. No, there's not. We get ourselves into a tizzy about the simplest things. We came into this week, and lo and behold, we thought we were walking into UAB, just coming off a Clemson win, thinking how great this was going to be. And the news hits that there may have been an oblique injury for JT in the Clemson game. He may have been hobbled by that. It may have happened in practice. Who knows? Kirby's tight.
May have happened in June. We don't know what the deal. He may have been wearing a rib protector.
Urban Meyer has in fact come down and beat him with a nightstick. Look, here,
at least you didn't say the word yacht.
I didn't
in that description.
So JT injury, and we all thought, oh,
but no worries, Clint.
No worries. We got another highly touted recruit who's in here.
Sure.
He's going to be fine. He's been
named the backup for like 2.5 months. So we're good. We have a solid backup.
No problem. Piece of cake. Oh, no. Wait a second.
Oh, wait.
Hold up. Reports are that the mailman has not seen his last start in Athens. He gets the nod, but then all of a sudden, JT Daniels come game day. He's out there warming up, everybody giving thumbs up to the crowd, saying, I'm here.
JT
We're
Daniels
good.
Ready to go again. Yeah.
Let's go. And then all of a sudden, Carson Beck is listed, or it's JT Daniels, the starter, second string, Carson Beck, or Stetson Bennett. And all of a sudden, nobody knows what's happening. He's listed. Stetson Bennett is listed and announced as starter. Athens boos, which, by the way, really quick, just I need to get after you.
Let's do.
I have to say this. Is a member of UGA wearing the jersey, going to play for Georgia, being booed in his home stadium by fans. Is that what I understand happened?
It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, Clint. This is a podcast for fans by fans. And let me say from one fan to another, shame on you.
100%.
Shame on you. And now, Clint, Stetson Bennett came out there. We're going to get to this. I think it's fair to say he played well. Is it fair to say he played well?
Okay. I didn't know QBRs can get into the 500s. I had no concept that was a reality.
You weren't live on the game. M-Dubs and I were texting during the game. And at one point, Stetson Bennett was 5 for 5 with 250 yards and 4 touchdowns in the game. That was his actual stat line. He was 5 for 5 with 250 yards and 4 touchdowns. Okay. M-Dubs texted me a QBR rating of brackets error. Like that was his official QBR rating. Just cannot be registered. Stetson Bennett played admirably. And now, Clint, thanks to the likes of 2 of the greatest journalists this world has ever known, Chip Towers and Robert Griffin III, which, by the way, who am I throwing more shade at right now? Chip Towers or Robert Griffin III?
They are fighting not to be uttered in the same sentence as each other, and yet they are great bedfellows because they are.
Yeah, that's where they belong. That is where they belong. Robert Griffin III talking about why would anyone put JT Daniels back in the game after Stetson Bennett performed this way, which Robert Griffin III maybe focus on doing your own job, which
do you know what that is?
Not great at it. Not my favorite.
No.
Okay. And then Chip Towers comes in the press conference, asks Kirby if we have a quarterback controversy, which Kirby, I think Kirby was generous to him. He was feeling good after a win. So Kirby was, I think, more than fair, more than generous.
Yes, he was. 100%.
There's no quarterback controversy in Athens. JT Daniels is starting quarterback. That's the last we will speak on the matter. What we are going to do is talk about how Stetson Bennett performed on Saturday, which was unbelievably well. But first, Clint's going to tell you about a new sponsor to the podcast.
This is PrizePicks. All right, college football fanatics, have you heard about PrizePicks? PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. I love this, and I know you will too. PrizePicks offers every sport you can think of: NFL, college football, NBA, college basketball, soccer, MMA, and more. It offers more.
That's college football daily fantasy, Clint. That's what I'm hearing you say.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I'm hearing you say college
it's
football
not props.
It's not just the NFL, which is a garbage product that nobody likes.
Garbage product. Can't stand it.
But it's college football, America's sport, the Lord's sport.
I was just going to say, God in heaven's sport. It offers any prop you can think of, from yardage to touchdowns, even interceptions throw. All of the users that deposit and use the promo code will receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100. You pick 2 to 5 players, over under on their projections. You can win up to 10 times on any entry. PrizePick allows mixed sports entries. You can take the over on LeBron's combined with the under of Mahomes in the same entry. Use the award-winning app on both the App Store.
I don't know what any of those words mean, Clint, but that sounds intriguing.
It sounds great. Who's this LeBron you speak of? PrizePicks is safe and offers fast withdrawals. Don't hesitate. Check out prizepicks.com. Go to your app. Download the app today. And here's what you need to do. Prizepick.com. App Store. Download the app today. It's your daily fantasy made easy.
All right, Clint. So Stetson Bennett comes into the game. He's booed by his home fans. Disgraceful, despicable. Absolutely should never be spoken of again. And he comes out just slinging it. I'm talking about slinging the ball all over the yard. Now, you go back and watch the tape, and UAB's attempt at coverage on the back end was non-existent. I don't know what they were doing. But you got Jermaine Burton and Arian Smith just straight running past guys.
Woo!
And then just hooty-hoo. And then all of a sudden, Brock Bowers, who we'll get to in a moment, Georgia fans, what'd you think about that wheel route? What'd you think? What'd you think about that wheel route, Georgia fans? That's a little bit better, isn't it?
I'm gonna tell you this right now. The Kobe Dean jersey is in a glass case somewhere in my house, but y'all know who's coming for that spot?
Think about okay, we'll get to that in a second, Clint. Stetson Bennett played unbelievable in this game. He played out of his gourd in this game. Because listen, those throws were open and they were there.
Sure.
But you got to hit those throws, Clint.
And you got to hit it. He did a couple of those by getting pressure right up in his grill. And
he got jacked on one of them.
He got jacked. Comparatively with Carson Beck, who had the same pressure, same play call. Yes, Carson Beck's first series was 3 straight runs. But after that, after he got his feet wet, so to speak, it was the same play calls. Carson Beck underthrew two times with pressure in his face, what Stetson Bennett performed perfectly on. So, yes, they were open. Yes, the coverage bad. But it's the same coverage Carson Beck faced with the same play call. And Stetson nailed it.
It is. And listen, Carson Beck looked off a safety and threw a nice touchdown pass to Justin Robinson. By the way, I was off by 1. A.D. Mitchell did not get a touchdown, but Brock Bowers, Carson Beck, and Justin Robinson, I was this close. Threw a great touchdown pass. Nice touchdown pass to Justin Robinson. But Clint, he didn't play good. Carson Beck did not play well in this game. No. Okay? Threw a really bad pick six, really bad pick six. And more to your point, was just consistently underthrowing the ball, consistently mistimed with his wide receivers. And if you're a Carson Beck apologist, you're going to maybe say he needs more time to develop, blah, 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 blah. Look, Clint, who's the backup quarterback on Georgia's team right now?
Stetson Bennett.
If we need a backup quarterback to come in any game, SEC championship game,
Stetson.
Who are you putting in? Yeah, it's got to be Stetson Bennett. It has to be. Do you know why? He's the best quarterback right now on the team. You put in the best quarterback right now on the team.
Yeah. That's it. You should say he shouldn't be, and he doesn't make sense, and he's undervalued and undersized, yada, yada, yada. I don't care. He goes out there and balls. And yes, in a couple of games last year, he didn't get that. And I understand that. Ideally, he's not going to need to be pressed in. I understand. But right now, guys, he's shown that he can play. You can't argue that. You can tell me all the reasons he shouldn't, but then I say,
Sure.
but he is. So what do you say about that?
The fact of the matter is that Carson Beck's not better, Carson Beck's not better than him. And that, if you're really going to bag on Stetson Bennett that much, then what you're saying is, what's wrong with Carson Beck? That he hasn't been able to be better than him to this point. It's almost like, Clint, and hear me out.
Okay, here we go.
It's almost like Kirby Smart knows something about football. I don't want to go too far. Did I go too far?
It's kind of hard for me to understand this. So a man whose job it is to coach the University of Georgia
has been for many years now.
Many years. A man who took us to a national championship game.
Okay. Say more.
Took us on the precipice of another. Who won SEC championship, who's taken us to new heights that we've never been before. He might know a thing or two about footballing.
Listen, and I'm not singling out one of you right now.
Well,
even though you're going to think that I am. But believe it or not, those of you that think I'm singling them out right now, there were other people who I heard say this. Lots of them.
Yeah.
Some of y'all are out here talking about how this is the reason Kirby Smart will never win a championship, because he started the second best quarterback on the team when the best quarterback on the team was injured. That's why he'll never win a championship, because he played the second best player when the first best player was injured. Really? This is what we're saying?
I don't know how to help you guys other than to just watch. Yes, you can say it's UAB. You can say that to me all you want.
Pretty sure both quarterbacks played against UAB in this game.
There it is. See, that's what I now this is the thing you're not going to like to hear, Georgia fan, and I'm sorry to say so, but this is the writing on the wall. Carson Beck will never start at quarterback for UGA in his career. There, I said it. He's not going to do it. You know why? Because this whole next year, it's JT or Stetson. That's it. If JT gets hurt, Stetson comes in. Carson's not coming in. Which means next year, do you know who's going to start? Do you know who's going to come in? If this is the product, Stetson's not going to do it. Brock Vandelay at Vandelay Industry, he's going to come in. He's going to do just fine.
Or JT Daniels is going to be back. Just to be totally clear.
Like you said,
I think JT Daniels is coming back. I think he's coming back. Listen.
Maybe.
He hadn't done anything in the first two games of this season to vault himself into the first round of the NFL draft conversation. I promise you that. So, look,
regardless,
don't get too comfortable.
Carson Beck.
Listen, it's not a great look for the Carson Beck fans, which you could be a Carson Beck fan. We've publicly been on the record saying don't pick a quarterback. It's not good for business. You'll just end up booing your own team in Sanford Stadium if you pick a quarterback, which makes you an idiot. So don't do that.
There it is.
But we will talk more about the quarterback situation as it develops. But we're going to come back and talk about the other playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, because there are many.
The notes on the defense for me. I've watched this game 3 times already.
No. We're talking about the defense tomorrow. We're talking about the offensive playmakers today. On segments.
I don't want to.
You have to wait till tomorrow, Clint, to talk about the defense.
Okay.
Fine. Okay.
But first, we need to let you know about Sweat Block. Sweat Block is doctor created, doctor recommended, works up to 7 days per use. It's dry shirt guarantee. Sweat Block doesn't keep you dry. You get your money back. Tested on Rachel Ray show by firefighters. Best-selling on Amazon for the past 10 years with over 13,000 reviews, and manufactured right here in the USA. You get to wear what you want. It's your little secret to confidence. This is a must-have for everyone's toiletry bag. Right now, you can go over and get 20% off sweatblock.com with promo code LOCKEDON at Amazon or CVS as well. But sweatblock.com has the promo code LOCKEDON for 20% off. If you or someone you love, is dealing with this, you have to check out Sweatblock.
Also want to tell you about the fine folks over at Built Bar. Built Bar is the tastiest protein bar on planet Earth. We have been here talking about it on this podcast forever, and that's because it's true. Built Bar is a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. Comes in a variety of delicious flavors, fruit flavors, chocolate flavors, caramel flavors, all kinds of flavors. All of them high in protein, high in fiber, low in sugar. All of them keto approved or good for whatever diet you are on currently. Great for pre-workout, post-workout, meal replacement, snack after and during your afternoon lull at work. Put some in your car, put some at your office. Keep them on hand everywhere. That's what Clint and I do because they are the best tasting protein bar on planet Earth. Right now, you go to BuiltBar.com. You enter the promo code LOCKEDON15, and you're going to get 15% off your order. That's 15% off your order at BuiltBar.com when you go to the website and enter the promo code LOCKEDON15. All right, Clint.
Yep.
We said we started talking about him earlier, but he deserves more. Let's stop everything that we're doing and talk about number 19.
Okay.
Brock Bowers.
Okay. Let me
this man?
Myself.
Who is this man? You're from California originally. Tell us who Brock Bowers is.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
How?
You go up north of San Francisco. Okay. You go up south of San Francisco. You go up anywhere on that coastline. You choose it. I don't care. People have better things to do than play football. Okay.
They sure.
There are wineries. There are surfing competitions. There are a whole gaggle of things. Amuse-bouche of charcuterie boards with fine cheeses, Daniel, if I may. Okay.
You lost me. You may not. So
okay, I may not. That's Brock Bowers is a freak, and to pull him out, he's a 1 in a million, in a million, in a million. Like it just keeps going out. The ripple effects of how to find this cat the way that they did. Now you want to go in the Valley of California, you're going to find much more highly touted recruits. But to go out there to know where he is, I don't know what in the world the recruiting machine at Georgia is able to do and how they're able to find these absolute killer sharks. That is a find. Nobody out here understands what that is. It's a find. You know who also came from Bay Area?
Who's that?
Way back, Najee Harris, I believe.
Oh, really?
Antioch, California, if I'm remembering right.
Did not know that.
I'm fairly certain. It's a freak of a thing to grab him.
Listen, the guy has got incredible size. He's clearly got a great set of hands. Right? He can catch the football.
See a screen? See a screen in traffic? Defensive lineman all around him?
Oh, I saw it. I saw it.
It got negated because of a holding call, but
now he can get himself open. He can run a route. He can block in the run game.
Yes, he can.
But Clint, none of that is what we're here to talk about right now. Because did you see what happened when he got the ball in his hands and a safety thought he had an angle, Clint? He thought he had a line on him.
He had a line on him.
Had being the key word, past tense. Had. Not has.
No.
Because he gone, Clint.
He hit 6.
He turned on them jets. He turned on them 20 mile an hour, and he said,
"See ya."
All the way to the end zone. I've never seen anything like it. We've seen Darnell in the open field run over some guys, run through some guys. We saw him in Dan Jackson's life in the spring game with a stiff arm. But we've never seen anything like that in the open field from a tight end, Clint. That was Travis Kelce out there, Clint. We're talking about that was the elite of now listen, pass catchers, not tight ends.
I'll just say, don't put tight end on his name.
Pass catchers. Some of y'all, there's been a lot written in the last couple of years about how Georgia cannot land the big-time 5-star wide receivers. Right? Is that fair to say? We struggle to land the big-time 5-star wide receivers. Did you hear Kirby after the game when he's asked about Brock Bowers? And he says, which is what I love about Kirby, he always be recruiting, Clint. He said, I'll tell you what, we need more guys just like that to sign. Cough, cough. Hello, Mr. Delp. Are you listening to the press conference? Because did you just see what we do when we have elite playmakers at the tight end position? something might be happening with Coach Hartley and Coach Monken and Kang Kirby. Clint, something might be happening in the tight end room where you realize that on the roster next year,
here we go,
could be Darnell, Brock Bowers, and Oscar Dell. Are you aware of that? And listen, Clint, act like you ain't gonna see all three of them suckers out there on the field at the same time. This 100%. is not 2005, Clint. We're gonna put them all out there. We're gonna put them all out there with Jermaine Burton and say, "Good luck to you, sir. I dare you to defend us."
Burton going to do that little comeback, and past his little comeback he does at the 13-yard, there's going to be Big O running the seam route. And then on the back end, going to be this little nice little skinny post that Brock Bowers does. And then just crossing over the middle, Oscar Delp saying, "I'm here too. Don't worry. We're all here." After the play action of Zeus. It's freakish what you can imagine.
I'm not sure I could be more excited about a player than I am about Brock Bowers.
The one that's
I've forgotten.
Closest,
Go ahead.
The one that's closest is Arian Smith, Daniel. This is the closest
that
you can get.
Arian Smith, thankfully, reports are he's all right from the injury. When he went down, it was a little nerve-wracking, but you got to see him. This is the weapon that he is, Clint. And when he gets off and running, you see JT put his hands up in the air.
He knew
halfway through that play because he said, "Oh, he gone. If he's even
catching him,
he leaving." Clint, Arian Smith, Jermaine Burton in on the act, not just the long touchdown pass. Had a couple nice possession receptions on the sideline. The wide receivers acquitted themselves very well in this game.
100%.
I will say that. A.D. Mitchell looked really good. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm still very high on this A.D. Mitchell kid. He was interfered with again. The only reason he didn't get his touchdown is because they interfered with him again.
That's right. They have to cheat to stop him.
That guy's drawn more flags than any receiver on Georgia's team. And don't act like that's just random luck. That is a representation of his skill and his inability to be covered. So A.D. Mitchell, I'm still real high on. But it all begins and ends with Brock Bowers, Clint. This Georgia team is not the same as we thought they were going to be, and it's because of number 19.
100%. Hey, we're going to come back tomorrow, talk about the defense, give you our take on that. Until then, thanks for joining us on YouTube. Glad you're here. This has been Locked On Bulldogs, your team every day.